Hello and welcome to Planet 40k. Today we're going to be discussing the Royal Warden and how he interacts with the new Necron Codex. So the Royal Warden, he's like your Necron version of a lieutenant. He's an infantry model selected in the HQ options of the Codex. He comes in at 4 power level or 75 points and can be included in any of your dynasties within your Necron army. So let's take a look at his datasheet then. Firstly, his stats are movement 6 inch, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 5, toughness 5, wounds 4, attacks 3, leadership 10 and a 3+ save. Pretty standard HQ's character stats there, nothing jumps out at you that's mega powered. He comes with 4 abilities. The first 2 are basic Necron abilities, which are living metal, regaining a lost wound at the start of the turn, and command protocols, which is basically a Necron version of tactical doctrines. He has relentless march, which is a 6 inch aura for core units that give them +1 to movement or advanced rolls for that phase. But the real reason you're taking this guy is for his next ability, which is called adaptive strategy. So in your command phase, you select a core unit within 9 inches of the Warden, and this unit is eligible to shoot or charge even if they fell back out of combat. So this is huge, as without this your warriors and immortals are flawed, as they're just going to get tagged in combat and they can't shoot. And as we all know, Necron warriors and immortals know how to shoot, so this ability is almost a must take in every army. Think of it like a 75 point upgrade for the squad to have fall back and shoot. On a squad of 20 warriors, that's less than 4 points per model for the ability, and then not only that, you're getting the +1 for movement and advancing and the model itself. So the character comes with a weapon which we'll have a quick look at now. So it's a Relic Gauze Blaster. It's got a 30 inch range, rapid fire 2, strength 5, -2 AP and 2 damage. So if this guy's within 15 inches, he's chucking out 4 shots alongside those warriors, and each one at strength 5, -2 AP, 2 damage. So that's pretty perfect to get rid of a couple of 2 wound marines. Unfortunately, he's got no melee weapon, so it's just his base strength of strength 5 and his 3 attacks. So let's go over the extra rules in the book that can benefit this guy then. So firstly, if you use the Mefrit Dynasty code, it will give him a 3 inch extra range to his blaster, which would make it a 33 inch range, and it'll also increase his rapid fire range to a 16 inch. This dynasty also has a relic which allows the Warden to switch out the Relic Gauze Blaster for an actual relic called the Conduit of Stars. It turns this weapon into a 36 range rapid fire 3, strength 6, -2 AP and 2 damage. Then of course you've got to add 3 inches for it being the Mefrit Dynasty, so that will total 39 inches with a rapid fire range of 18 inches with the potential of firing 6 shots. So this is really handy not only to be getting into range, but for firing at tougher targets such as your Death Guard infantry that have got toughness 5, so you're still wounding on 3s. It's also good at going against those weaker toughness 3 units, so you'll only be needing 2s to wound there. It is a nice upgrade, although if your warriors are getting charged and the whole point of this guy is to get them out of combat and shoot, then you're likely not going to need that 36 inch range because you're probably going to be quite close to the attackers anyway. The other shooty option from the Dynasty codes is the Sortek Dynasty, which gives you rapid fire up to 18 inches. So again, it's obviously handy for his Relic Gauze Blaster there. The Sortek Dynasty also has a stratagem called Methodical Destruction. So in the shooting phase, after a Sortek unit has finished making its attacks, you select the enemy that was attacked until the end of the phase. Each time an attack is made against that unit using a friendly Sortek unit, they gain +1 to their hit rolls. This does however cost 2 command points, so it's a tad pricey. There's also a better way of doing this that simply involves an Overlord and my will be done. But you don't always have an Overlord around, or maybe you've already used his ability elsewhere. So this strat gives you the option of allowing your warriors to hit on 2s with a boatload of shots. If you wanted to create a custom dynasty, first you need to look at the Dynastic Tradition section. You could opt for either Pitiless Hunters, which is effectively Bolter Discipline, giving you rapid fire if you remain stationary. Or maybe the option of Severed, which increases your command protocol aura for characters from 6 inches to 9 inches. From the circumstances of the Awakening list, there's a few options here too, such as Healthy Paranoia, which is similar to the Mefrit Dynasty code, granting you a 3 inch extra range to your ranged weapons. This is obviously going to aid your rapid fire weapons too. There's Relentlessly Expansionist, which I'll always mention. It's really good because it gives you 6 inch movement army wide after deployment but before turn 1. so you can get all your units either onto objectives or into better range or into cover, depending on what circumstances are happening. Another one, Isolationists, which gives your rapid fire weapons that fire within 12 inches a +1 strength. So your Relic Blaster becomes strength 6. This is also pretty big for your Warriors and Immortals too. Looking at the Relics now, there's a few little options here. The Gauntlet of Conflagration, which is a ranged weapon of 12 inch. It auto hits the target, and instead of rolling to wound, you roll a d6 for each enemy model within that unit. Any 6s cause a mortal wound. So this is obviously really nice against horde units, but it's also an additional range weapon on top of his blaster because it doesn't replace anything. Bear in mind though, it is a pistol weapon, so there'll be no adding 3-inch range to it from any Dynasty codes. The one I'd favour here is the Veil of Darkness. This is a really effective tactic when you pair it with a 20-man warrior squad or a 10-man immortal unit. You teleport the warden and the troop unit across the table to the juiciest target and simply fire. If you get caught in combat, the warden will get the troops out and then you rinse and repeat. It's a very effective method of getting across the battlefield, either onto an important objective like I said, or just finding the best target that you want to get rid of and then get rid of it. So when I first saw his datasheet when it came out in the Indominus box set, I did think to myself, why would anybody field this at 75 points? It's expensive, it's got no real damage output. Other than his blaster, he just looked like a glorified immortal, but after a few games of him, it didn't take long for me to realise that it's all about his adaptive strategy ability and nothing more. Anything in 9th edition that gives you the ability to fall back and shoot or charge is huge, especially if it comes from a character that can't be targeted unless it ignores the lookout sir rule, so it makes him extremely effective. And to make this tactic even stronger than it already is, you can use the Veil of Darkness on him, for him and the warriors to teleport. Then you can also use the Nephric stratagem on an Overlord, which gives him deep strike, and then give your Overlord the Eternity Orb relic, so on turn 2 you can teleport the Warden and the warriors to the juiciest target, leave a little spot in the middle of the warriors for your Overlord to fit in once he deep strikes. Then once your 20-man squad gets depleted, pop the Eternity Orb, and on a 4+, you're reanimating models that have already been destroyed. And don't forget, warriors reroll once to reanimation protocols as well. And also the Nephric Dynasty code grants a 6+ invuln, so that could be handy as well. So there's a huge little bit of synergy there for you. Overall, I think once you divide his cost of 75 by a squad of 20 warriors, you're not paying much for the extras you're getting, especially when he's able to carry a relic on top of that. His gun's okay, it's not too overpowered, but it will assist you. For me, he's a must-have in every Necron army you build, because if your warriors aren't shooting, you're in big trouble. He doesn't have an invuln, but your opponent still has to chew through a big resilient squad before reaching him, so I believe he's well worth it. I'm going to be giving the Royal Warden a Planet 40k rating of 4.5 out of 5. So do you agree with the rating? Let me know if you do. Also let me know if you don't and why. I love to hear what the community thinks about all units that we review. Please remember to like the video if you found this useful, and subscribe if you're new, so that you don't miss out on any of our future content. Check out our Patreon for exclusive videos and benefits. So if that's something you'd like to do, the link's in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.